of Mr. Dave Wade, who's celebrating his YouTube birthday today. Dave.
Hello, actually, it's last week, but I forgot to talk about it last week, so we'll pretend it's today.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll we'll
4 years old on YouTube.
we'll do the kind of dress play. You know, I'll pretend to be a pirate. You can pretend to be
I'm a
Iron Man.
ninja.
You're a ninja.
Yeah,
You're a ginger ninja.
I'm not a ginger. Not that there's anything wrong with being ginger, or as I like to call them, daywalkers. Sorry. It's a South Park joke, people. I'm not horrifically. What's the term if you're anti-ginger? Gingerphobic?
Ginger teas.
Gingerbread man. Sorry. I do apologise. I'll be quiet now in the corner.
Um,
Just
yeah.
don't hurt me, daywalkers.
I'm just waiting
Yeah.
for the for Facebook to load. So that, oh yeah, it's up. So yeah, I'm Michael Burhan, of course. He's Dave Wade, and we are here to talk about a few things. I think the first thing I want to do is get some stuff off my chest. Are you okay if I do that, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about you first. What have you got? Any issues that you've been having today?
Um, Apart from my garlic issues, no, not really. I mean, I'm having a good week. I knocked 75 quid off my car insurance, which was quite nice.
I knocked 85 quid off my bank account. That's because apparently, and I never knew this, Barclays Bank will, if someone committed fraud in your account, they will allow them to put money in and take money back out. And I
Put
said to
money
them,
in?
yeah. So the company that defrauded me, a car insurance company in Italy known as Bell Car Insurance, put money into my account without me knowing.
What was their name?
Bell Insurance in
Bell.
Italy. One, I don't have a car. Two, I don't drive it in Italy. And three, why would I need car insurance for it? They put 85 quid in my account because they were alerted to the fact that they defrauded me. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a throat thing.
I have as well, actually. When you say, have you got any issues? I got one of those, I'm a little bit worried that I got funny throat, so I'm waiting to see if I'm going to be horrifically ill.
Yeah. Well, the second thing is, it's that they put money back into my account, and then my bank told them, oh no, you don't have to give him the money, you've got to give it to us because we put the money in his account already. Because they refunded me the money I lost.
Oh, right.
So they took the 85 quid out and left me overdrawn. And I was like, whoa, I needed that 85 quid in my account because I thought, that would have given me enough money to go by for the next week. Now I only have 5 quid left in my account to use for a week. So I was a bit pissed off, not gonna lie. So I contacted them, and I wasn't pissed off about the fact they took the money. It's not my money,
Yeah. It's the fact there was no heads up.
Not just that, it's they were allowed to put money into my account and take it out. They were allowed to access my account. This company has taken money out of my account without authorization, yet they were allowed to put money in and take money out. Do you get my drift? Most people
Yeah.
don't understand why I'm coming from on this. Am I going mad? But
No, I
it's
completely understand. It's almost like you're secondary to your own fucking affairs.
yeah, it's like you violated my fucking account. What right do you have to put money in and take it out of my account? You should have no right to touch my account. That should be done through my bank. Nobody else. So I was kind of pissy about that. I was kind of pissed. Second, I have no Pepsi in the house. Kind of pissed. Need some Pepsi Max. Third, I haven't been to the gym for 3 weeks. And I've been suffering from latent depression, basically. And I'm getting sick of people saying, you need to go and see someone about this. I'm like, I would love to if I could afford it. I would love to afford a psychiatrist. I would love to basically have someone sitting there let me tell them my problems and say, hey, I have issues. I'm mental, it'll be nice. But I don't have that. So I'm basically left to deal with my issues on my own. I've been going through a few things, I know a lot of people who've gone to my YouTube channel. I've been talking about their own experiences as dads, about the Anita Sarkeesian video. I want to bring up one guy who recently commented on one of my videos because he did it recent. His name, I believe, was something like Hellfire. I have to bring up the Anita Sarkeesian video to find out, to talk about it, because this has become a big issue, and people keep saying to me, "Oh, you can see your kids." It's not the way it goes. Do you know? As a parent, most people don't understand. I feel like I'm the worst dad in the world. I really do, because I've basically gone through this situation where I had to say to this individual, my ex-wife, that I wasn't going to do what she wanted me to do. She wanted me to look after the kids. She wanted me to have the kids with me, take them to school, be a full-time dad. But she wanted to take money off of me and be paid as a full-time parent. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you were there when we had this conversation.
Yes, I was. It was an eye-opener indeed.
Yeah, and it pissed me off. So I had to say no. Enough is enough. You can't keep using me. If you want me to have full-time custody of my children, I'll take full-time custody, but I need to be the full-time parent. You can't take that away from me. She got annoyed. She swore at me and then told me that I'm never allowed to see my kids again. So I'm back at square one. And I get people saying to me, oh, you know, it's going to be fine. It's really not. It's not fine. I feel like I failed as a father. I feel like I failed as a parental figure, or the parental unit.
It's a bit harsh on yourself, Mr. Burhan.
No, but
I know where you're coming from, but I still think you're being a little bit overly critically harsh of yourself.
But do you get what I mean, though? It's like...
I get what you mean, but
yeah.
I think you're a good dad.
But it's the kids now have ended up in a situation where they're asking me constantly by text message, are we okay? You know, when are we going to see you again? And I can't give them a proper answer. You know how much that kills me? You know, and if you're a parent, come onto the feed, you know, join our chat, tell me about your experiences. I want to hear it. Because I want to know what your experience is like with this stuff. If I'm the one on my own here. Because I feel alone in a bit. I feel like a bit of a burden, if that makes sense.
Shut up. Don't say that.
No, but it's like I'm trying my best to kind of deal with this situation. And if you've seen my channel, you've seen the videos that I've done with my kids, like me and the kids play this, me and my kids do that. And it's enjoyable. I love my children. I love being a dad. It's one of my favourite things in the world to do. Because being a parent is... I don't know, unless you've experienced it or you've been, you know, even if you've got a pet, you know, like having something to care for or someone to care for is one of the most meaningful things in the world. It's rewarding. You get to see their face. Yeah, they piss you off. But that's what kids do. They're born to do that. They're born to annoy you because they don't have an off switch. Yeah, they don't have an off switch. You know what I mean? But it's a fun situation, and it's a shame. You know, it's really, really much a shame going through it. Now,
sorry, Woody Pops.
That's fine, mate. Being a dad myself, it does annoy me. Now, the gentleman in question is by the name of Held Wind. He says, I also only see my children based on the allowance of a court-based decision because me and my wife had differences. The opinion, which is not violence, never was just we loved each other no more. She is the bowel of society, and that's Nita Sarkeesian that I speak of. And I'm listening to your video for the first time and I have so many comments. I cannot agree more. Critique that a game by an individual core aspect, not just fucking character roles in games. Play similar video games, and amen, brother. My daughter wants to do videos in games, and her opinions are humorous and monumental. And he goes on talking about stuff like about how being a parent is kind of, and I've got a load of parents that sit there and talk about it as well, how they can't see their kids, and it bugs me. It does bug me because as a parent myself, the law shouldn't favour one person over the other, and you want to preach equality, you want to go on about feminism and the feminist movement, which is fine, but equality works both ways. Men need to be considered the nurturing parent just as much as women need to be considered the breadwinner.
I don't know as much about it as you, but I do know, based upon my observations of the world, that what's the group, Justice for Dads?
Yeah, Justice for Fathers. They've been arrested more than once, these guys as well, climbing on buildings like superheroes.
But yeah, well, I don't understand how the system is so tilted in one person's favour. And an individual who's never met both parties longer than 35 seconds can rule in a court who gets to, are usually, in the favour of the woman. I know it's not me being sexist, people, but yeah, I don't understand how someone can make that sort of decision based on 30 seconds of fucking people in a room talking, and then, right, there you go, I've just decided this. Here's your state rules on a piece of paper that allow you to access your children for this. Next.
And that's the thing. So that's one of the things that kind of bother me. The second is relationships. I don't understand them. I don't understand how an individual himself, like I've recently been in a friendship that for me has turned into something very different, And I don't understand in terms of myself and my individuality in a sense how you have all the aspects of a relationship but it's not a relationship. Does that make sense?
Mm.
And I was talking to the person today about me wanting more, and they came with a million different excuses as to why it would never happen, and I just sat there and just went, give me one chance to go out with you, and they just fobbed it off. And it bugged me to hell, and it was just like, and people say, why don't you just walk away? And the problem is, it's very hard when you're attached to someone. Does that make sense? It doesn't.
Yeah, it does. And I was the person who was telling you to walk away, but obviously I don't have to deal with it, so it's easy for me to say that.
Yeah.
I stand by it, though. I stand by my genuine advice to you. But as I said, I know it's easy for me to say that.
Have you ever been in a situation similar to this? Because I've never. This is like probably the second or third time I've ever been in love with someone.
I've been very lucky that I haven't, actually. Which again means it's easy for me to comment and have an opinion on it, but it's just coming from my best thoughts for you as opposed to any sort of life experience of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it bugs me.
I stand by it though. I do advise you from genuine care, and while I don't have any life experience of it, I try to advise you and help you in the best I can because I care.
Yeah, I know, and and the same thing goes for me. I do care about my own being, and I'm trying my best to kind of move away from the situation because it bugs me. Do you know? It does bug me. If it was up to me, I would kind of cut my heart out and leave it in a box somewhere and just continue life as normal, without feelings and emotions. Because I think feelings and emotions are kind of what's setting us back sometimes as people. We invest too much, we love too much, we care too much.
You don't know what you'll become. You could become a monster because as dangerous as they are, sometimes they keep you grounded.
Very, very true. But at the moment,
God, I could shrink.
My emotions though keep me like in bed. That's as grounded as I am. I stay in bed and I don't do nothing. Which I need to change that. I think I do need to change.
I've had those days. I have one of those days once a week because of anxiety. I just can't be bothered to get up. And it's not like being sheer laziness. It's just you sit there and my brain's just thinking I can't be bothered to get up, and at the same time I'm racked with guilt about not being bothered to get up.
Yeah, same. I've been lying in bed today and I've done nothing productive all day, apart from answer an email. That's it. I'm kind of distancing myself from everything I should be doing. Like I need to get site stuff done for Nerd Genius. I've got to get cons sorted out for the Silent Hill thing. I've got to sort out the Silent Hill thing. I do my door-to-door fundraising. I've got to get it all done, and I've done nothing. The last 2 weeks I've done nothing, and I promised myself 2015 would be my year, and I've literally spent the last 2 months.
You've still got. Hang on.
10 months.
Still got time.
10 months, yeah. Still got 10 months.
It's not right off yet.
I know. It's just me being disappointed in myself. Rob was telling me. I had a good conversation with Rob, man, actually yesterday about it. And he just said, "You've got to take one day at a time. It's like you've got to take each day as it comes. Otherwise,
give yourself something to achieve each day."
Yeah, and I've done that by writing lists. I'll write lists about what I need to do and how I need to do things. This week on Burhan Opens Therapy is what Patty says. But hey, Patty, it's the only way that I can deal with this situation. I'm talking about it. Let's go on to comic books because another thing that bugged me this week. This is turning into what bugged.
I saw your post actually. So I know what you're going to say, Gary.
I was reading the latest issue 31 of the Uncanny X-Men. Basically, there's this all-powerful new super mutant. That's like it's above Omega level, so it's like
kind of like the 90s all over again now.
Yeah, it's, and this guy can literally have the difference between life and death. He can reincarnate you. He can kill you, and he's killed Scott Summers because Summers was being an arrogant prick, and basically went, "Well, I embrace you." Even Magneto was going, "Oh, dude, bad idea," and he was just like, "No, we can utilize him and kill people with him and stuff, and go against the humans." And all the mutants are sitting there going, "This dude is literally fucking up mutant-human relations." Cyclops is just taking away. So this guy kills Emma Frost, kills Cyclops, and one of the younger
they really
mutants,
are popping characters left, right, and centre in the moment, aren't they, Marvel?
And one of the younger mutants went back in time and found Charles Xavier, and Xavier's sitting there, and she's like, I need to explain to you what Scott Summers has done. He's like, I don't need to know what Scott's done. Scott's one of my most valuable students. And she's like, yeah, he's kind of destroying the world at this point, you know, just so you know. And he's like, what? That's what Magneto would do. He's like, yeah, Scott's kind of doing even worse.
Role reversal.
Yeah. So Charles basically comes. She talks to Charles, and
Charles comes. Sorry,
he does all over her face. And the entire issue is her talking, this mutant talking to Charles about coming over to back and resolving the issues. So Charles was like, I could wipe your memory right now and forget this ever happened. This conversation ever happened. She went, if you do that, the world is lost. So he comes back. And so he sits there and he's like, come to me, my X-Men. And the issue ends. And I sat there, I was like, for fuck's sake, there's no continuity in anything. So Charles Xavier's back. Scott Summers is back. You've got the younger versions of themselves who are in the timeline as well now.
So basically, there's no cause and effect as such. So this sounds like, because I don't read many Marvel stuff anymore, mainly because of stuff like this, they can do anything they want and it has no impact whatsoever because it just gets reinstated by the end of the same issue.
Yeah, well, Patman said Jean Grey is a perfect example of how comic book death doesn't stick, which is kind of cool in some ways. We always come back to an abandoned storyline. The fucking
this is what I like about
so
2000 AD, yeah. By the way. This is what I do like about 2000 AD. Those you out there in North America land, the home of Judge Dredd, when they kill a character, they may do another series about him, but it will be set in the past. But when they kill a character, it stays. They killed Johnny Alpha, which annoyed me at the time because he was, the strontium dog. He was their equivalent of mutants. Well, they're not equivalent. They are mutants, and they're not allowed to work as anything other than bounty hunters. Yeah, they killed him, and it was a brilliantly written and realised story. It was sacrifice, and it stuck. And he's been dead ever since.
Well, Jean's been dead ever since. Just let him die. I agree, Patimus. The thing is, Jean's been dead. They just have the younger version of herself who now knows what the past self has done. So if these guys go back in time, they'll have their memories wiped if they go back to their past. The thing is, though, I like the current younger mutants coming in to face the older mutants. Like Beast brought them in so they could face Cyclops. So his younger self could be like, "Hey, Dick, I'm gonna become you." Yeah,
I grow up into you. Oh, fantastic! I thought I was just a nerd. Now it turns out I'm a nerd and an asshole.
Yeah, pretty much, and it's great. And to see the older Cyclops, the arsehole that he's become, I like this darker version of him. I think he's a suicidal, homicidal, genocidal maniac, in the words, as if you want to use that same phrase. That's pretty much. He hates himself and he hates everybody else. And his brother Havoc, who's become evil now because thanks to the whole
Havoc's
Axis,
evil as well.
Yeah, Axis storyline. There's a new thing they're going to do where they're going to collapse the entire Marvel universes together and make a battle world. So they're going to do a Secret Wars thing, but there's going to be no Earth no more. It's just going to be Battle World. So each pocket of Battle World is going to have its own faction.
So it's going to be all the universes
in one, yeah. It's kind of their own
and convoluted.
Yeah, it's their own reboot, and I don't like it. I think it's that they present.
Got to be honest, that sounds like something DC would do with a 0 hour thing. When they constantly try and fix their own continuity errors by having this summer event.
And then they wiped it out and then did the New 52, which is now non-existent anymore because they're going to do the New 49 because they've done another event to kind of wipe that out. It makes no sense. It's convoluted.
This is why I only read The Walking Dead.
Yeah, and that's in that self that continues itself. I've read the current issue with Carl's dealing with, and I like the fact they do issues sometimes that humanises characters, like Carl's issue with his eye. He feels like his eye is his biggest issue because his dad accidentally shot him in the face. And that's not a sex pun, people. He actually shot him in the face with a gun. So we don't know if we're going to see that in the series.
You're still not clarifying that as a sex pun. Sorry.
With a gun, not his gun.
I've still got to finish season 4 on DVD.
But
here you go. It's a little problem of mine, by the way.
Okay.
Ties into this. When I watch a box set, and I'm really bad at juggling multiple box sets at once, but the problem with that is when you go away from it, then anyone out there have the same problem, and you come back to it, I have a god-awful time going through the disc to work out where I dropped off. And sometimes I'll sit there and watch almost a whole episode before I finally go, oh no, I've already seen this one, shit. I should just buy a notepad and write down, Dave, Disc 3, Episode 12.
Yeah, and then that's the most annoying part as well when you get lost in continuing it, for episodes.
That's what I meant to say. You worded it far better.
Yeah, I've had I've been doing that with The Flash recently. I watched every episode of The Flash from.
Is it any good? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, the Rogues episode, the Revenge of the Rogues.
Is it as good as Arrow?
It is. I think it's even better, to tell you the truth.
Because I really like Arrow.
Arrow's kind of hit a wall.
I'm only on Arrow because I don't watch stuff on TV. I watch it on box set form afterwards.
Take the Boy Scout, chip away at his soul, and give him power, making him an asshole seems like a natural story progression. It does, Patmos. I agree. Cyclops being an asshole is a natural story progression because he's the guy who is destined to lead the mutant race. That's what everyone's put him as. But because he killed Charles Xavier, he's now become worse than Magneto.
Sorry, people. Spoilers.
Well, if you haven't read it by now, you never will.
Yeah, good point. My favourite depiction of Cyclops was in Age of Apocalypse.
Yes.
Which is still my favourite ever.
Well, he has the one eye
event.
thing. Yeah. And Havoc's like a fucking psychopath. I love that.
Yeah. I loved Age of Apocalypse. I still got all of them, the original run. Which apparently is quite now.
Yeah, but they ended up splitting it into its own universe. That kind of bugged me. Then you had like the
Plus,
Charles.
There was a bit for a year or so afterwards when a couple of them made it over to the regular universe. X-Man made it over, and then, sorry people, spoilers, he died.
Made it over, yeah.
And the Evil Beast made it over.
I liked X-Man. I liked him better than Nathan Grey. I liked him better than Nathan Summers. Yeah, I think he was way better than Cable. I thought he was a more interesting character.
What was it? He had all, because people go, Cable would be Cable would be the ultimate mutant if he wasn't, what Apocalypse did to him, which was trap him by giving the techno-organic virus. But at the same time, I like what they did to him was, you can't be that powerful without it having an effect. And basically, it burned him out, didn't it?
Yeah.
Being the most powerful telepathic, telekinetic on the planet was too much for his body to take.
And whatever the hell happened to Hope? His daughter, his pseudo daughter. I wonder what happened to her. I know there's a new X-Force.
I've got two of those boxed, by the way, and they're worth a fortune. The Baby Hope Marvel Universe figure.
Yeah, because she's supposed to be the Hope for all mutants. Because when Scarlet Witch said no more mutants, it basically wiped out nearly the entire population.
That was House of M, wasn't it?
Yeah, I loved that. I felt that was a really good storyline. How you had the mutant race was kind of forcibly wiped out, and there was only a limited number.
Also,
of them.
it's kind of something that DC don't do properly when they try and fix their own problems or trim things. Which is House of M was basically no, we're going to limit it to this number of mutants, and that's it.
Just pop by to say hi, and in a few minutes, bye. That's Novabug. She goes laughing out loud. Well, hello in a few minutes. So long, farewell. Avita saying good night. Yeah,
on the subject of comics and stuff, we talked about it before off air on the Entire Movie Show, because I bought it on DVD. But I gotta say, I didn't hate the new Ninja Turtles movie. I wanted to, but I actually really enjoyed it. And even though it was Michael Bay, from a technical perspective, if you watch the making of it and see how they did the Turtles, they were quite grounded in reality. They're all real martial artists. They voiced their own characters, apart from one which we talked about, and they were motion captured real martial artists.
And yes, I know Novabug. I will make sure. Basically, no, I agree in a sense where I believe.
Just don't get me wrong. The 1990
weren't...
Golden Harvest movie is still the best.
Yeah, the Turtles weren't the worst thing in the movie. I just felt the storyline was kind of convoluted, and I don't think the plot line was done very well. I think it was very clustered. I like the idea of Robert Sachs being Shredder. They kind of changed that to him being a minion. But still, it's one of those where.
I think people from our generation wanted to hate on it, and some probably did hate on it without actually giving it a fair chance.
No, I gave it a fair chance. I watched it twice because I sat there and I wanted to do a movie file review on it. I feel that it's still not the worst, but it's not the best. Does that make sense?
I prefer all the Transformers movies.
I would put it before Turtles 3.
Oh, that's not. You can't. No, you can't mention this in the
No,
same
no, I'm
phrase.
saying it's before Turtles 3, so it's better than the third Turtles movie.
Mate,
Turtles,
I could have shit that's better than Turtles 3.
yeah, but it's better than Turtles 3. It's worse than Turtles 2.
I'm not a patch on Turtles 1.
Yeah, and also TMNT, because the way I go, it's like Turtles 1, TMNT, Turtles 2, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that Michael Bay did, then Turtles 3, and then also the Turtles tour movie that they did with them singing and doing it.
Oh no! Oh, I forgot. Oh, Bird, thanks. I completely forgot about that. Oh,
No Bug says I
Do you
wanted
remember
to
the
unlike
series?
it, but I actually rather enjoyed it. I preferred it to RoboCop and Man of Steel. Definitely, I
Yes.
agree with you, Nova Bug. I preferred it to those two movies. I felt RoboCop was shit. Man
Yeah.
of Steel was just a disaster movie with Superman in
Man
it.
of Steel wasn't. Man of Steel wasn't even really technically a Superman movie. There
It was a
that
Russell Crowe
much
movie.
destruction. Yeah.
But that's me. I'm not.
Do you know what I
huge-
kept saying to myself at the end of Man of Steel
What's
when
that?
they were having that big fight? Which is, hey, pay attention, Superman. While you're going batshit crazy, there are people in those buildings.
Yeah, and then he just saves like the small little family in there. I was like,
Yeah.
have you got ADHD or something? Is that where the problem lies? Because for some reason, yeah.
I actually quite liked Kevin Costner in it, though. I thought he was probably one of the better aspects of the film. Probably because it was only a little bit of Kevin Costner as opposed to lots of Kevin Costner in a post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question about casting out of type. What do you think about that?
When you're saying casting against type, like casting against gender, casting against race.
Race and gender. At the moment, the main thing, the flavour in Hollywood is casting people as black. And I'm not being racist here, guys. I do apologise if I do offend. But I'm not being racist in terms of, like, they've cast, like, Johnny Storm is now black, because that apparently solves everything.
Which is the most, we touched about it yesterday, the most boring trailer ever.
Yeah, the new Fantastic Four trailer. And they're doing it with everything.
If you
They
didn't
wanna...
know what Fantastic Four were, watching that, you'd think it was just an end-of-the-world movie with a bunch of people who are supposed to, like, Armageddon up and save us.
Yeah,
It-
and Miguel was
doesn't
pointing out
cover
the
any-
thing that it's got that one key thing when it goes doom, doom, doom.
Yeah, and that's what I meant as well.
Yeah.
Though, but when it's doing that at the start, the doom doom, and you got all these big open panning shots of of environments, and that's when your brain just goes, "Is this like an apocalyptic movie or something?" Because you're setting it up to look like this is precious, that's precious, you're precious, everyone's precious, and it's all gonna die.
Well, No Bug says DC have a lot of catching up to do if they think they're going to compete with Marvel's Cinematic Universe. I agree on that. And she goes, Man of Steel bored my tits off. Except for Michael Shannon's ridiculous, bug-eyed, "the fuck did you say to me" face. Yeah, I have to admit, Michael Shannon in Man of Steel, everything, for some reason, even if he was talking quietly, he just sounded like he was shouting, "We will find him!"
Yeah, he had a really shit haircut. That's the one
Yeah.
thing I took from him as well. He had a really bad haircut.
Oh god, they're not remaking Short Circuit. Oh fuck, is nothing
Oh,
safe.
fuck, no, you beat me to it.
Oh, fuck me. That movie was like... I loved it because it was a part of my childhood. It wasn't exactly a great movie.
Even the second one's good.
Yeah, and it was like, Johnny Five is alive, and you had that really racist Indian guy in it, which is obviously he wasn't Indian, he was just a guy with a tan.
Yeah, if you actually hear him talking, like when you saw the interviews for it, like I remember on Sky Movies at the time, he's got the most broad American accent you've ever heard in your life.
Patmos goes, I forgot about that. Lordy, heaven forbid we spend money on original ideas. I agree with you, Patmos. The most original ideas are in the independent scene. What these film companies tend to do is like, this movie made money, let's see if it can make even more money. The problem is that
I'm a bloke in a suit in an office with a calculator.
why don't you just do a re-release? Why don't you just release, like, do what George Lucas did and release like a fucking special edition of it in the cinema, like he does with Star Wars movies? It's one of the reasons why Disney makes
Imagine if
so much fucking
can we
money.
get a cleaned up version of Short Circuit with extra CD effects?
Yeah, exactly. That would be great. Why do you want to remake the movie? Because people are just going to sit there and look at it and go, what the fuck is that robot even happy about?
Do you know what made me laugh though about the 80s? Even though as a kid you didn't say it, and it's me being a cynical adult, but when you look at stuff like Short Circuit, and he's this amazing, before he gets struck by lightning and becomes, self-aware.
Oh, God. Instead of it befriending a lonely woman, he befriends a young orphan boy.
Yeah.
Is he a racist young orphan boy? Does he do like the weird Indian accent, Novabug? Does he go, Johnny Five is alive? Does he do all that? Hey, by the way, if you want a racist Indian, just cast
Yes,
me in
I
it.
gonna. You know what? You just taught me. I can't like, look at that for an advert. By the way, people, if you want a racist Indian, just cast Burhan.
Yeah, just cast me. It'll be brilliant.
Going once, going twice. Sold. Racist Indian to the
I'll just
woman in the
drive.
third
I'll
row.
drive a cab as well, and I'll stand there and go, Johnny Vibe is alive throughout the whole movie.
There's a Spectrum video game, isn't there?
Yeah, there
Hey,
is a Spectrum
Chris.
video game.
Chris, do a gameplay of the Amstrad version.
It would be brilliant. Yep, for me. That's what I want to see in Short Circuit. We got to have me in it. It'll be my debut.
Is it going to be like the Turtles though? Now we're going to have a really buff, big fucking RoboCop.
I could buff myself up. I could be the really buff Indian dude if you want to do that. I'll be like, Johnny Vibe is alive. Look at my muscles, and it'll be brilliant. And people will be like, that guy's
That's
so
not buff.
racist.
That's camp.
Yeah, I'll be wearing
No,
like
but
speedos
this is the
and
point
everything.
I was going to make, which is what was great about the 80s, was if you look at it, when they developed these robots to be these state-of-the-art military killing machines, but when you look at them, you just think, if I just coat the floor with ping pong balls, you're fucked.
Yeah, it is funny. It's like you might as well just have like Ed 209 in the movie. You know, stop.
Yeah.
You have 4 seconds to comply, and it's just like, you know, oh, number
Based on
5.
budget cuts, though, I don't think he'd be able to add up properly. Stop, you have something. Fuck it, I'm going to shoot you.
He goes that Fisher Stevens is funny as hell in both films, and he goes, he has that actually. He does. Novabug has the game, so I think we want to see a gameplay Novabug. Get a gameplay of that out.
Of what I remember of it, though, it's a puzzle problem-solving game, quite complicated.
But yeah, it's for me. I like the idea. I think of them re-releasing the old movies. I don't want to see a reboot. I think it's just ugh.
It comes back to what you said. It really, really annoys me. And I'm going to tie it into Romero here, which is Romero struggled for years to get,
Notoriously.
the then 4th movie out, which, and I might be the only person who likes Land of the Dead, out, and Universal said, all right, yeah, we'll do it, but here you go, here's this sounds terrible me saying this, here you go, you can only have 20 million, which, let's be honest, with someone like Romero, who's so skilled at working in the independent scene, that's a lot of money. But in the meantime, they were throwing money left, right, and centre at other people to make new zombie movies and remakes of his movies. But I just remember being frustrated because I love him, thinking, but you got the master of the fucking genre. He created the genre, and you won't fucking give him a mainstream, chance again to do what will basically be what everyone wants because everyone fucking loves Romero.
That's exactly it, and you look at it and you think, why the hell do we even bother with this shit? It's like I believe at one point they were even going to remake Police Academy, which I could see work if they did like a kind of 21 Jump Street in a sense where they reopen the fucking thing. Where
That's funny you say that actually, because even though you can argue that's not a remake as such because it was a TV show, so it's kind of in the Starsky and Hutch, which was another good example of something done right. 21 Jump Street, the movie, worked because it was a self-parody basically.
Exactly that. I'm drinking water, by the way, folks. I'm not drinking Pepsi today. But that's exactly that. It works because it has all the tools to basically parody it. It doesn't do anything new with it. It does something new with it.
I've got to say, we know what you lot think. We touched upon it last week, and we touched, when Callum was on, and you touched upon
I
it.
didn't
When we
even
get on
know
talking
there was a
about
Labyrinth 2. Is there a Labyrinth 2? Have they greenlit that?
Is that really?
Oh, God. I saw Land of the Dead on my 18th birthday in the cinema. Oh, happy 18th for them, Pamus. So that was 2 days ago?
I still got my pin badge, a square pin badge that they gave me at the Odeon when I went in to see it with my mum of David Bowie. And basically, it's a pin badge that's just one big advert for his massive crotch. Can you imagine if they he wouldn't be allowed to do that now? It's a U, right? But let's be honest, who designed the wardrobe in that way? Basically, what we're going to do with this is we're going to give him horse riding pants, and we're going to vacuum form them to his massive crotch. I've got no problem with this as a kids' movie.
God. Apparently, he's contracted to appear in the reboot. And the director is going to be Tim Hill, the man who made Alvin and the Chipmunks films.
Which I haven't seen, so I can't comment.
They were okay. They weren't amazing. They were kind of cash cows. They were there for the point of being there. They weren't going to be anything like.
I did
amazing.
like the original cartoon.
By the way, I want to say a great big thank you to one of my recent ads on Facebook. A gentleman added me on Facebook recently. Found me on the internet via I Got Gameplay and all my other shows. His name's Jeff Weber, and he had a very nice things to say to me. He was talking about how, like, the whole Duario thing and the live stream that I did, and the fact that I remembered who Justin Carmichael was, and it was nice. It was really nice that someone actually gave me a nice little shout out and said, thank you for everything that you've done. And I don't need the credit, because in the end I did it because I love the guy. But it was nice for someone to point that out. Oh, Dave would shit his pants at Back to the Future 4. No, they're not doing Back to the Future 4.
Dave wouldn't shit his pants. Dave would have to get arrested and go to prison for the rest of his life for executing anyone who dared. Can I just say quickly, because Patty just posted it on my timeline. Patty, I'm very happy that you've got corn chicken nuggets. Now, I am, as you know, a virulent meat eater, but I have tried the corn chicken nuggets, and let me just say, basically, at least maybe I had a bad batch. I don't know, but all I know is I had indigestion for a week.
It does taste like rubber. The thing is, when it comes to like corn, I don't even think it's soy. I think it's something else. I do like the corn.
It's genetically modified protein, isn't it?
Yeah, I like the corn scotched eggs.
Oh my God, we're eating X-Men.
I like the corn scotched eggs. I do have the corn scotched eggs. I microwave them and I eat them. They're really nice. They're nice to have with a salad.
They make scotched eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, I could try that. Their bacon's alright as well, because it just tastes like you've eaten a big pack of Frazzles.
Well, the thing is, I don't like the corn bacon as much as I like the turkey bacon. I like turkey bacon and beef bacon.
Oh, turkey bacon's my new favorite. Well, you wouldn't know this watching my Facebook page. Turkey bacon's my new favorite deli. I like to cook it, let it cut cold, and then put it and make deli subs and sandwiches.
It's really good for that. By the way, if you're in Twickenham at any point, there's a nice... If you go next to St Mary's University, down the road from there's a nice little chicken shop. It's a butcher's, but they make sandwiches as well. And they make these amazing chicken sweet corn mayo sandwiches. It's the tastiest chicken and mayo sandwiches I've ever had. Best ones in the world. And Novabug says, corn chicken nuggets, don't we get those in parcels as ploy chips? And Patma says, I like them. And yeah,
Paddy, I will make that burger to show you, because I know you were laughing at me saying you don't need to see it, but again, look at me. I feel I need this on a t-shirt. As you know, I'm a virulent meat eater. The Bird's Eye vegetarian burgers, which are basically potato with veg inside and battered, they're lovely. I like them.
I can't eat veggie burgers. I don't like them. To me, they taste like...
I don't like it.
They taste like mash if it was fried.
It's all about how you cook them, Mr. Burhan.
I oven them, and they still taste like crap.
I fry them.
Oh, that's probably why. So you double fry. Double fry?
Double fry.
Double fry.
I Stephen fry them, sorry.
But I'm sure. So you basically give them to a young boy afterwards and then marry him.
Yeah.
Isn't corn a fungus plant? Yes, it is, no. It's a fungus plant. It's a genetically modified fungus plant. Look, can you hear this? What's this sound? Can anyone guess? Can you guess what that is, Dave?
You having sex with your microphone?
No, it's a duster. I'm just cleaning something.
Sounds like you're letting an aerosol off.
It is. It's an aerosol duster. It's an air duster.
What's the thing used to blow shit out your keyboard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basically because I got a little bit of chicken stock on my keyboard.
I've got a little bit of chicken stock. Were you marinating your keyboard before you eat it?
Yes. No, I was making noodles and I accidentally got a little bit of it on my key, so I'm just wiping it.
If you want to see the greatest breakfast sandwich in the world, people, check my Facebook feed out. Holy shit.
No, I like the one that Xander basically put on that burger. Oh my god, I would eat that. That's my Saturday burger.
Number of people left a comment saying, what was it called? The In-N-Out?
You get the In-N-Out burger.
Yeah, the number of people left a comment saying, oh, every time I go to LA, I have to get one of those. And I'm thinking, I mean, don't get me wrong, for a small guy, I've got a reasonable appetite, as you probably understand watching my Facebook feed, but I'm like, how do you even eat that? How do you start? Do you eat it with a knife and fork? I need answers, people.
The sound is annoying, that's what it is. And no bug goes, don't hold the air duster upside down and use it. Starts to blast ice, man. Lasers out. No, but I agree with you, Dave. It's very taxing on the stomach. If I had one of those, I probably would need to take a very large shit. And because the American toilets are so terrible, because they're low flow, I would.
Yeah, you never get two
I
hands there, son. 2 hands.
My shit would destroy that toilet. Because that's just too much meat to have in your system, in your colon at once.
I just remember when I lived in Canada, one of the most amazing things ever. Someone looked at me and just thought you were strange, and I just remember saying, "No, I'm not strange, but when I flush, your water goes the wrong way."
Mm-hmm. By the way, I basically checked the Happy Console Gamer forum, which I'm one of the admins at, and I posted a descriptive. It's called Honest Video Game Box Art. Check out their Facebook page. And it's a photo of the Nintendo, what was it called? The Virtual Boy. And it goes, 3D display game system, eye cancer. And people are now going ape shit at me because I basically posted this. And I'm like, it's a joke. Fucking take a chill pill. I am subscribed for those douchebags. And laughing out loud, at least VB had original
Mr.
games.
Burhan, you seem to forget the golden rule, which is humour is not allowed on the internet.
Oh, fuck's sake. Get a fucking chill pill.
There's a great number of people who take things so seriously that they cannot understand the concept of a joke or satirical humour.
Yeah, and this is another
These are the same people who don't understand or enjoy Monty.
Well, on the same forum, someone puts a little meme that says, girl walks by and a guy gets hard. Girl, boys are so weak, just by walking by gets your dick hard. And the guy goes, bitch, I was thinking about Metal Gear Solid 5, so unless you can provide me with tactical espionage action in 1080p and 60 frames per second, get that bullshit away from me. All I can say is gay. Patman says that's too much meat to have in your system at once. Quotes to take out of context.
What the in and out?
Oh god, Patty's like, I know that you're going to take this out of context, Burhan. Nobug goes, came home today to stir fry teriyaki beef and carrots, egg fried rice. Nice. Yum. That's really nice. I love Chinese. I had Chinese the other day when I wanted to watch 50 Shades of Grey, which was 50 Shades of Shit, in my opinion.
That was my joke from last night. You nicked that. You owe me 5p every time you say that.
I do. Every time I say sexy biscuits as well, I've only you like 1.5 million p.
Well, yeah, that's well. There you go. Well, I guess actually we'll set that aside and give it to Warner Bros.
Yeah, Warner Brothers. We're giving that as royalties for bullshit.
They came after us, the bitches.
They did. They came after Burhan and the Boy. I think we're that popular. Warner Brothers doesn't like us. The people who made Batman and who don't understand what the fuck they're doing with DC decides that they want to come after us. Another big news is Spawn is going to be in Mortal Kombat X as a special character. So they had Freddy in the last one. This one they're going to have Spawn.
I quite like that. I liked it where he was in Soul Calibur 3, 2?
Yes, he was in it. And it was him on the PlayStation Xbox versions and Link in the
on the GameCube,
yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I had the game. I wish I didn't sell it. So many games.
They had Yoda. They had Yoda in one as well, didn't they?
Yeah, he was on the last one on the Xbox and PlayStation 3, wasn't he? And Starkiller was in there as well.
Yeah. So
Starkiller's quite interesting because at the moment I bought it for £3, which is why I'm watching it. I bought the season 1 of the US version of Being Human. Those of you who know me know I absolutely love and adore the English version of Being Human. At least when it still had Mitchell in it, and the first 2 seasons were actually shot in my hometown, so that might be something else why I like it. But yeah, considering everyone slagged it off and ready to shout on it and said all the horrible things about it, it's not as good as the English one. I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm on disc 3 right now.
There was one that I liked, Misfits. That was on Channel 4. That was great, but when they winded up the storyline,
the bloke who could turn into a bird who made himself pregnant.
Yeah, and then he got the powers where he could basically bring to life the dead. Night, Novabug. But yeah, bring back the... Pattimus goes, I want Mortal Kombat. I think, Pattimus, I think you do it in real life. You'll probably go outside and rip people's heads off. Get over here! But yeah, so let's ask you, Dave, what was your early memories of Mortal Kombat? Because I remember it used to be so the censors used to hate that game.
Wasn't it? Yeah, it was like, I'm playing a snuff movie, but in video game form.
But it wasn't really a snuff movie.
Now we know what I mean. Everyone just went, "Oh no, you can kill people and rip their spines out." I don't know why I'm talking about Mickey Mouse. Like, oh, it's disgraceful. It's going to end the world. And oh, someone please think of the children.
Animality! Ha!
Yeah. And all I remember thinking at the time was, it looks very nice, but it doesn't play like Street Fighter. I think I'll go and play Street Fighter.
Or I like to play Street Fighter 2. But yeah, no, I agree with you. It's a good game for its time, and then as time progressed, the game got a little bit better.
I remember the big deal. There was Mortal Kombat 3 when they announced it for the PlayStation 1, and everyone just went, "Arcade perfect, Mortal Kombat 3, amazing!" And I actually bought it, and it came in that nice cardboard box, and I remember thinking, "Oh yeah, it might be arcade perfect, but at least in the arcade I didn't have to wait 7.5 minutes for loading between rounds."
And just think, now you can actually play it on a Mammy engine. And Patmos goes, "True story, you got me." But yeah, it's, for me, I agree with you on that whole
I think they're
fact.
struggling to find. It's one of those franchises. It's popular and big, and and it's still ongoing and relevant. But I think they're still struggling to find what they want to do with it.
Well,
and
the fact they killed off the majority of the original characters now. Everyone's dead. They killed off, like, in the reboot game, they killed everyone off.
I do remember the controversy that was Mortal Kombat versus DC, because there was this whole thing which is you can't have finishing move against DC characters, and I was kind of like, I actually kind of like that, because it was like, yeah, you're Superman, who cares? I might just be a martial artist, but I'm still going to cut you in half with my razor hat.
She goes, it was one of the only games that was kind of good at when I played it at my babysitter's house. Your babysitter was cool. My babysitter would never allow me to do that. Granted, my babysitter was my brother, but still. I remember a time where my dad had this big, huge 42-inch TV, and the TV was in a cabinet. He got it for his wedding. I think I told you about
projection. It would have been then, wouldn't it? Back projection TV.
Projection. And the problem was he had it on a shelf. Don't know why. My dad loved shelves. It was in this cabinet shelf thing. And
shelves have their purpose, Mr. Burhan.
Well, the shelf broke because the TV was so fucking heavy. And I had to hold it up, and there's little 5-year-old me trying to hold this TV up, screaming for my brother. My brother came running in the room. I was like, "Yes!" He ran in the room, going, I'm coming!" And his, like, pants are on the floor. Literally running in, and he grabs the shelf, and he's like, "Do something!" And I'm like, "I'm 5. I have no idea what I'm going to do."
Yeah. What do I do? I'm a child.
Yeah, that's literally it. It's actually funny. That was my excuse for most of my siblings say something. My sister was like, "Make me a sandwich." I'm a kid. I have no idea to make a sandwich. You call this a sandwich? Of course, I'm 5. And then she smacked me.
That's the two things, two greatest answers in the world to everything. I'm 5. What do you want me to do? And it was like that when I got here.
Patmos goes, I feel madly in love with the feel and the atmosphere. Then as I got older, I loved the mythos so much more. Then fucking story mode and that reboot. Fuck you, right back developers. Make Raiden look like a complete fucking idiot. He did look like an undecisive idiot, I have to admit. He did. And the fact that he kills Liu Kang by accident. He's like, whoops. Liu Kang's dead.
My bad, sorry.
Yeah, so Johnny Cage, you're now the new leader of the faction. Because, penis, that's why.
Promoted. I mean, of everyone in that group, he was the best fucking person to lead humanity. Johnny Cage, I'm an actor.
Hey, you know what? At least he managed to get what he wanted, which was get in bed with Sonya Blaze. Because apparently they have a kid together in the new one. Who looks really nice. She's a member of a SWAT team. Kind of got a nice body. Saying, I would. Kind of. If she
Let's just clarify her age before you continue that.
I think she's 18. So it's
legal. There you go. Right.
I still look like an old pervert, but still.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed the game for the textures. Not sounding
that sounded really creepy and pervy then, by the way. I kind of enjoyed the game, but for the textures.
For the textures. I love it. Oh, so good.
Give me your textures, you slag.
You slut. Oh, apparently in EastEnders, they found Lucy's killer.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't watch EastEnders, so for once I'm not going to say spoilers. So
I saw it on Yahoo. Apparently a little boy called Billy.
So it's your standard soap opera plot where they set it up for fucking... Cause isn't it the longest running one? Like 18 months of who did it, build up, and bookies were doing everything they can on it, and then it sounds like they copped out with a character that's not even fucking known about, turned out to be the fucking killer.
Yep.
And that's where our license fee goes.
Wait, isn't Billy like the old dude? I think he's like Phil's brother or some shit.
Oh wait, it was him. Oh no, he's a real character. Oh, I don't even watch EastEnders, but
wasn't he? Didn't he used to like? He came in there when he was beating up like that kid or something like that.
Yeah, he came in. He came in as a See, the thing about soap operas in this country, I'm sure it's the same across the world, is you don't watch them, but you know what's going on about them, because every time you walk in a newsagent, they're across the front of every fucking newspaper, and every TV guide says, "This week on EastEnders."
I didn't really give a fuck with EastEnders. It's like one of those shows where I kind of, you see one storyline, you see them all. As soon as they ended up having Phil do something again at some point, it kind of
I'm on crack now.
Yeah. Like I'm on crack.
The only thing I will say about this, though, which is kind of quite interesting simply because of my age and remembering when it started, is EastEnders is 30 this week, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And yes, Patmos, I've seen the MK web series. It was a really good web series, actually. I like it because it's got a very weird and twisted take on it. They're doing the next season now. And Liu Kang is like turned to the dark side. And it's got the guy who played Shang Tsung. And Mark Dacascos is in it as well, which he played Kung Lao. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, because I like
Mark
him. He was someone who should have got a decent crack at Hollywood, but didn't, for whatever reason. In fact, his only Hollywood movie is Only the Strong, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is a capoeira movie.
And Crying Freeman.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so EastEnders reveals Lucy Bill's
killer.
It's a crying
shame that he's not a Hollywood actor. See what I did there?
I think it is a crying shame. Let's have a look and see who the killer is. Just spoilers, if you watch EastEnders, I'm sorry.
Actually, no. If you watch EastEnders, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Meaning, don't watch it.
Well, after a long running storyline, the fevered guessing, Lucy's young brother Bobby was revealed as the killer. Sorry, not Billy. Her Bobby.
Oh, I was just going to say, because Billy
the 11-year-old was found by his stepmother Jane Beale clutching what appeared to be a weapon used. The whodunit storyline helped the show achieve its highest ratings in years. She started it, is what you said. So there you go.
Shit, that's a cop-out. Do you know what I mean? They set up the big... like I said, I don't watch it, but you set up a big thing. You kill a famous, established character that people care about, and then you milk the storyline. And then when it comes to the revelation of who it is, you're just like, oh, yeah, we just write this in at the last bit. It was that person over there. That's shit.
I don't really get
At least fucking Emmerdale Farm dropped an airplane on the village.
Yeah, but that's fucking disturbing, isn't it? With What's Its Nuts from Battlestar and Supernatural Season 9, Jerry Ryan from Voyager. I had mixed feelings about it, but I'm very happy to see someone take it on. I do, and apparently they're doing a movie as well, Patmos. They're doing a movie. Let's talk about that, actually. That's more credible than fucking Lucy Beale's killer being her younger brother.
Yeah. And also, I feel I need mouthwash since I said EastEnders at least 5 times.
I need a shower. It's like if you say EastEnders like 10 times to a mirror, Ian Beale will appear with his fat gut.
He's been in it from day one, and don't we fucking know it looking at him?
I know, who ate all the pies, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let me have a look at the web series. It's on Machinima, by the way, if you guys want to check it out. And the name of it... Dun dun dun! Bad Bobby. Yeah, he's a bad Bobby. The original movie, by the way, was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson.
Bad Bobby? Do you mean he's a bent cop?
But let's have a look. There was a spin-off TV series called Defenders of the Realm and Mortal Kombat Conquest. And then...
do you remember the... Oh, fuck. Sorry, just thinking about that god-awful live-action TV series of Mortal Kombat that just made my roids itch. I don't even have roids, but I grew them just so they could itch when I watched that show.
Yeah, it's... By the way, there's loads of stuff in development hell at the moment. It's in development hell at the moment, but they allowed a web series to be made, and it was called Mortal Kombat. I'm trying to figure out what it's called. Legacy.
Was that the one that was
Mortal Kombat Legacy?
Wasn't it? What was the animated one that was done like Samurai Jack?
That was Conquest.
Yeah, because I quite like that.
Anything to bury MK Annihilation. MK Annihilation was like the bowel movement of the series. It's an American web series, an anthology adapted by the fictional universe of Mortal Kombat video game franchise. It debuted on Machinima.com's YouTube channel on April 11, 2011. Second season was released entirely on 26 September 2013, and they've got a third season in development at the moment. Now, Tetron noted that Ryan would not be returning as Sonya for the second season due to her commitment of Body of Proof, but I hope to bring her back for the third, which Cabal was also slated to appear after Tetron had been unable to accommodate the characters in the second season because of budget limitations.
Tetron, I thought you were going to say Kebab.
Tetron departed the series in October 2013 due to lack of progress in the reboot film. However, on March 27th, he told Nerd Reactor that both he and Warner Bros. Are still planning season 3 with him directing. January 13th, 2015, martial arts trainer and stunt coordinator Garrett Williams confirmed his involvement in the third season of Mortal Kombat Legacy without revealing his role. Casper Van Dien confirmed his involvement in the season.
Oh my god, he's still an actor. He's still alive.
Yep. They've got loads of all these old actors in, including Mark Dacascos is going to be in there. And he was in Season 2. Season 2 was really good. Casper Van Dien replaced Matt Mullins as Johnny Cage, while Kerry Hyuka Tagawa, who played Shun Tsung in the 1995 film, took over the part from Johnson Fan. Tamo Penkit did not return as Striker and was replaced by Eric Jacobs. Michelle Lee took over from Jolene Tran as Melina. David Lee McInnes replaced Ryan Robbins as Raiden. And the only holdovers from Season 1 were Ian Anthony Dowell and Samantha Tihari as Scorpion and Katana respectively. Debuting characters included Harry Shum Jr. as Kao Long, Sub-Zero's younger brother, Brian T. as Liu Kang, Mark Dacascos as Kung Lao, Kim Do Nguyen as Ermac, and Daniel Southern Kenshi. Jerry Ryan was also in it as Sonya. Michael J. White was in it as Dax. Darren Sharon.
You speak long names good, by the way. I just thought I'd say that.
Do I speak what names good?
You speak long names good.
Thank you. And did not return to do their respective characters. Now, Michael J. White said specifically that he wouldn't return unless he was doing the movie, which was a shame. And I liked this all spanned from, I'd say, Burn It, but
Michael J. White. That's a little link throwback to what we're talking about. Michael J. White, wasn't he the actor who played Spawn?
Correct, and he was also in the Mortal Kombat. He played Jax in the Mortal Kombat trailer that they did for the movie. I liked his. Have you seen that Mortal Kombat trailer that Kevin Tetron did?
No, I haven't.
He used his own money, and it was literally he did it, showed it to Warner, and was like, "This is what I want to do with it. I want to make a real life kind of thing."
Is it like what what's his name did? Bollocks.
Hannes, did you see it?
Thomas Jane did for his little independent Punisher trailer.
Yeah, but that was his like swan song. That was him saying goodbye to the part.
Yeah, but that was brilliant. I fucking love that trailer.
Yeah. But that in turns with that, they did this thing, and there's that open sort of scene where you've got like helicopters. It's in New York, and they're at this police station, and there's this guy sitting there in cuffs. And Jax is going to him about the characters, and he's talking about like how this doctor ended up turning himself into Baraka, so he like implanted themselves with his knives, and he's working with Shang Tsung to do this tournament, and they hired this guy who was an out of work actor to be one of their special agents, and that was like Johnny Cage, who ends up getting his like head cut off by Baraka. It was brilliant, it's freaking gory as hell. And Jerry Ryan comes in, she's Sonya, and she's sitting there talking to the guy as well, and they're kind of debriefing this guy, and he's like, "We'll suspend your sentence if you enter the tournament." And the guy goes, "You don't understand. You can't hold me here." And he breaks his cuffs off, and he's like, "Can you do this for us?" And he goes, He goes, "If you do it for us, then we will give you Sub-Zero." And he looks at him and he's like, "I'm in." And it starts, and I was like, so brilliant. And it like cuts out, and it's like Mortal Kombat. And I was like, damn, that would be so fucking awesome. That's what they need to do. They need to do a movie like that. I don't care if Tetron does an independent version of it. He needs to do it. He needs to basically come out there and say, you know what, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make it happen. It's a shame Warner's not jumping on board. I think it would be a really superb movie for the franchise. Patimus, you should see it. That's what started the whole Mortal Kombat Legacy web series. I will find the link, and I will link you both. It's an amazing trailer. It's so freaking amazing. Michael J. White, again, he's another underrated actor as well, in my opinion. I think
Shame about Universal Soldier 2.
Yeah, people hated him as Spawn. They hated him.
I actually, because I was a big Spawn fan. I mean, people Tom McFarlane was a big deal to me back in the day because I mean I loved I have it in its entirety. It's one of the few things I'm actually. Is it sad that I'm proud of this? I have the entire Tom McFarlane run of Amazing Spider-Man, and it's my favourite Spider-Man depiction to date. And yeah, when he formed Image, and well, part of him, well, he was part of the group of people who left Marvel and formed Image. And yeah, I loved Spawn back in the day, and I loved it for the first 100 issues, and after that it became shit because they kind of didn't know what to do with him after he came back from hell. But I remember the big deal for me at the time when they announced the Spawn movie, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and I actually really enjoyed it. The Violator in it is absolutely fantastic. The fights in between him and Spawn is brilliant. Special effect wise, it's brilliant. But yeah, people all bashed him and said, oh no, he can't play Spawn. And I'm like, how do you know? Give him a fucking chance. Yeah, so yeah, he got massive backlash from the fans. It's like, he's not Spawn. I'm like, well, you're a new comic character. You've only been going for a couple of years by the time this comes out. Well, 6 years by the time the movie came out. Like, how can you form such strong opinions about who shouldn't and should not play... Sorry, who should and should not play Spawn or Al Simmons?
You shall not pass.
After 6 years. The only thing I will say about the movie is at the end, the ending is shit.
Mm.
You know, Mel Bolgier gets fried by many spawns in hell.
Yeah, I loved, like, Clown was one of the best things in it. Fucking...
Yeah, who would have thought that John Leguizamo, who's a slim, skinny actor, stick him in a fat suit? Because I remember when he was cast, I was thinking, there's no way he
plays Clown is really... Yeah, I love
that. It's amazing, especially the bit when he eats pizza that's got maggots on it.
I've got something for you, kid. It's he plays it so damn well, and this guy.
Yeah, he read the bloody comics. That's what the one thing I took from that, which is he didn't do it because it's a paycheck. He did his homework.
Yeah, and then also, I think if it was done with better effects budget, it would have been a lot better. But you can tell.
Yeah, because it was a mainstream studio movie, but I do remember that it had. And Todd McFarlane talked about it openly in the comic book, even though he promoted it and said he liked it. Was, this is not. We don't have a budget comparable to any of the other summer movies at the time.
Yeah, and
I think it was what was it, 20 million? It was really small.
Yeah, I'll have a look actually. Let me have a
look. Actually, and remember it got because obviously Charlie Sheen. I forget. This sounds
Martin
terrible.
Sheen, yeah, was
it? Yeah, I was going to say Charlie Sheen's dad was Jason Wynn in it.
Yeah, he was good in it. I liked him. I think he played a very disturbing character.
He was brilliant. Do you know why he was in it? I think that was a personal favour from Todd McFarlane, because Todd McFarlane actually based the character on his likeness.
Yeah. And he did really well on it. And right, so here it goes. The supernatural superhero film based on the comic of the same name by Tom McFarlane, published by Image Comics, directed and co-written by Mark A.Z. Depay, the former Industrial Light and Magic animator. Film stars Michael J. White in the leading role of Spawn.
Oh, they did the special effects, didn't they? ILM.
Yep. It was released in '97. The first film to feature an African American portraying a major comic book superhero, followed by Steel in the same month. We're not going to talk about Steel because that was...
Yeah, no, let's not bring up that fucking train wreck.
The budget was $40 million, and it made $87 million in the box office, so it did make double its budget back.
And the bird, who's the female assassin in it, is the zombie chick from Return of the Living Dead 3.
Yep. And Spawn, I liked Spawn when I was a kid. Zero familiarity with the story at the time. Sadly, haven't fixed that. Shame on me. But it was a good film. I don't understand why people critically pan.
I might have to go through cash because I'm pretty sure I can. Well, guarantee I can find a copy in there. But I might have to go through Cash Converters tomorrow and try and bag me a copy of it because it's just I loved it back in the day, and not just because I was a fan of Spawn back in the day, but yeah, like you said, I do remember it being a very, very, apart from the ending, solid, superhero movie. A lot more solid than half the shit they churn out these days.
And Michael John Leguizamo in a sec. He's doing so many more movies now at the moment, and he's really, really good. I don't.
And this ties back to what we were talking about earlier on. Well, me talking about it, which is obviously he's in Land of the Dead, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
And he's absolutely amazing in that movie. We need a big budget new zombie movie.
We don't, because World War Z was that, and that was terrible.
World War Z there was no way, if you've read the book, people, there was no way...
That wasn't even the book, that was based on the name. That was it. You know,
No, I know, but that's my point. The book, no, they lifted some of the scenes. The book is a collection of stories about how we reclaimed the Earth from the zombies. And so what they did with the movie was they kind of tried to tie them into scenes and basically have Brad Pitt jump across all of them, and it was just like, no, no. Although there is one thing I've learned from that movie, which is apparently if the zombie apocalypse happens, get yourself 2 copies of Reader's Digest and tape them to your forearms. Who knew that that's such a handy self-defense tip against the undead?
Well, I know if the zombies ever attack me, I'm just going to go and climb a building.
I've got a little bit of shameful thing to admit right now. I own World War Z on Blu-ray. Don't tell anyone.
I did a review on it for Movie File, and one of the comments was, "You don't know fuck all, man. It was a fucking great movie." When I said it was an action movie with zombies in it.
Exactly. No, I stand by what you said there, because it's any true zombie thespian, I think we're called Romero-rites.
Yes.
Romero-rites. Will say, yes, it was, if you unplug your brain, it's enjoyable in the sense that there's a lot of money spent on it. Didn't they have to find another 30 million to reshoot quite a lot of it? Because
they had him like hacking the zombies' heads off and stuff. And they had to reshoot it because when they screen test it, people were just like, ooh, I'm not sure, he's a family man. You don't want him doing that. So they had to reshoot it and have him not killing any zombies.
It's enjoyable in the sense that it's just a pulp Hollywood movie. But I agree with what you said, which is it's an action movie with zombies in it. It's not a true undead experience. There's no real sense of foreboding in it, if you know what I mean. Like, if you watch a Romero movie, particularly Dawn of the Dead, and even the remake of Dawn of the Dead gets this right. Actually, that's something we could have talked about last night. The remake of Dawn of the Dead is, and Romero likes it. It's one of the few remakes
I saw that in the cinema.
Yeah, I saw that in the cinema. And and it was, it said, right, we're going to take this idea, but we're not going to completely adhere to it. And I'm going to mix some things up and have them run and stuff like that. And that's how you do a remake.
Wasn't Zack Snyder the one who directed that?
Yeah, I think he was.
Just the Man of Steel himself, yeah.
Before he went shit.
Yeah.
That's how you do a remake or a reboot, which is you take the idea and you show love and respect to it, but you run with it in your own direction.
I agree wholeheartedly. That's the way you do it with these type of movies, because it works to many levels on that. To that effect, it shows you exactly what it's looking for. In terms of basically being a zombie movie to all intents and purposes, it pays homage to Romero's elements to it, but it also has that whole 28 Days Later thing. The zombies are faster, they're stronger,
It's just got the greatest chainsaw death sequence you'll ever see in your life.
Oh yeah, with the trucks. Oh
yeah.
God.
Oh, so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm actually every time I talk. I'm doing it now. Every time I talk about that scene, I clutch the right hand side of my chest. Oh.
I remember watching it in the cinema.
28 Days Later.
Did I go on a date to watch that? Or did I go? I think I went with friends. I don't know if I went on a date or went with friends. I watched that and I shat myself nearly in the cinema because I was just like, what?
And they got the bit where they stick the chainsaw out the side of the bus and they're cutting through the zombies' legs. Awesome.
And it's a really good movie. And it takes all the nice bits from Romero zombie movies and added the kind of...
but this comes back to what I said, which is World War Z didn't achieve, which is... In all those movies, particularly the Romero ones, they're really claustrophobic, and there's a sense of... You even say to yourself, why are you even bothering? The world's gone to shit, there's no point. Like, it's claustrophobic, it's tight, there's a genuine sense of angst all the time.
Yeah, and the us versus them bullshit that they had on the ship was forced.
I've been to that mall, by the way, in Pittsburgh. There's only one part of it you can recognise.
But the whole us versus them thing with the them on the ship on World War Z is one thing that I didn't like.
Oh yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Everything they eat tastes like diesel. Why do we even put that in there? That was stupid. Well, actually, it's in the book, but it's still stupid in the book.
Yeah.
What I would like to say though, going back to, even though I consider it a zombie movie, other people don't, and it's where I guess Snyder took his idea for the running zombies, but 28 Days Later is a superb movie.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's a fantastic movie.
And that's one of my
when you find out how they filmed it as well, oh, so good, which was they basically begged the London council officials at the time. He said,
Yeah.
right, can we do this? And he said, right, we'll shut this street off or this section of London off for literally 1 hour. If as soon as it's light in the morning, and you've got 1 hour to put all your buses sideways and put all your shit around, but it better be cleared later. And so the way they achieved that was, it's in the making of, it's brilliant. He goes, right, so what we did was, because it was shot digitally on digital camera, wasn't it? Yeah, they said, right, well, the only way we can achieve that many shots or footage of an empty London, only be giving this screen time to desert the streets, is have like fucking hundreds of cameras. So that's how they did it. And it worked really well, because that's generally the most creepy part of that movie, is him walking around a deserted London.
Yeah. And the thing is, it was 8 million, this movie was made for, by Danny Boyle. 82.7 million is what it made in the box office. Think about that.
And I don't even hate, I wanted to, but I don't even hate the sequel.
Yeah. There's also alternate endings for it as well. In the ending, after Jim is shot, Selena, Hannah rush him to deserted hospital. The scene is extended. Selena and Hannah's assistants attempts to perform life-saving procedures but cannot revive Jim. Selena is heartbroken. Hannah's distraught, looks at her for guidance. Selena tells Hannah that they will go on. They pick up the guns, walk away from Jim's lifeless body. Selena and Hannah, still dressed in ball gowns, fully armed, walk through the operating room doors, which gradually stops.
That's the ending they should have gone with as well.
He was alive, wasn't he? At the end of it.
Yeah, and they had that really stupid happy ending where they built a sign out of rocks, and then the airplane flies over, where they found this nice little house on the coast.
Yeah,
didn't like that.
Then they did 28.
It wasn't a happy movie. It wasn't a happy movie. It didn't have to have a happy ending. It's one of those movies that you don't want it to have a happy ending.
Yeah, like they did that with they tried to do that with I Am Legend. They had two endings, a happy ending and a shit ending.
My problem with I Am Legend, it's funny, I was talking to one of the only people I call friends at work. Yeah, that's right, people. It's sad. I only have two friends at work. I hate everyone else.
His left hand and his right hand.
And the problem with I Am Legend is, if you read the book, he's the bad guy. Sorry, people, spoilers. He's the bad guy. If everything in the world has gone to them, then they are the natural race, and he's killing them.
Yeah.
He's not surviving. He's there. That's the point. He's their boogeyman.
Yeah, he's basically going off like seeing all these monsters, and it turns out they're not the monsters. He is.
Yeah, it's evolution. You can say that, they're horrible vampire-like creatures, but that's evolution. If they're the majority and he's the minority, then they're in the right and he's in the wrong.
Yeah. That he's got to be living in their world, not them living in
Plus,
theirs.
although I will say this, it's one of the last good performances from
William Smith.
Captain Promotion, before he turned into a complete ego fuck twat Scientologist closet boy who just wants to fucking promote his children.
Apparently Close is supposed to be a really good one.
Really?
Yeah. The new one that he's got from that girl, the girl in it is the one.
Do you know what I watched the other day? I bought it. I think I mentioned it last night. For £2 from Tesco's. I do like going through the bargain bins. You do find some cool stuff. And I forgot what a solid movie it is. And some of the special effects are still absolutely superb.
Yeah.
A couple of them are still really rusty, but Poltergeist.
I like
still
that.
a really genuinely frightening
That was
movie.
a Spielbergo film, wasn't it?
Yeah. The only thing that makes me laugh about the 25th anniversary edition that I've got in my hand right now is
What's that?
the special features on it are a documentary about poltergeists, but they're nothing to do with the movie. They're about poltergeists in general, and you're like, well, so you've just lifted shit off fucking reality TV and stuck it on the fucking DVD as a special feature.
Yeah.
You could just give me a making of the movie.
They don't do that though. They probably don't even know how the movie's made now. But that's the thing, they took a lot more chances back in those days.
And it was practical effects. Come back, practical effects. We miss you.
Cleaning out my iPhone.
I was just going to say, I'm doing whippets.
Whip it good. But yeah, no, I agree with you. It's a struggle. Going back to what we were talking about previously about rebooting movies. It's a struggle. I think RoboCop in itself had one of the worst performances of Michael Keaton ever.
Should have been an 18 as well. If they just went, because I guarantee it would have been a massive success if they just went, fuck it, this is for the fans of the original movie, even though we didn't want it remade. We're going to make fucking RoboCop now, but we're going to honour the original by making it fucking grindhouse gory.
Yeah, and Alex Murphy was a complete twat in that movie.
He just didn't care.
Yeah.
When they stood, that's the one bit I like from that movie, though, is when he goes, show me what's left of me, and they disassemble him. I do like that bit, but apart from that, I'm just like, this movie's just fucking...
But there was no reason why they left him in his brain. There was like, his body was charred.
You see him at the start, even though if it's paralysed, bearing in mind that the suit fixes him being paralysed, you see him at the start, what's he lost? A leg and an eye.
Yeah, and I just looked at him and I went, there's still enough of him to like make do with, and then they just like took his brain out for no fucking reason. I'm just like, whoa.
This is a bloke thing, I know, but I'm going to say it anyway, which is, if you were him, and the minute he goes, show me what's left of me, and they go, I just go, kill me because I don't have my winky anymore.
Yeah, I like it when there's an episode of Friends where they go to Joey, what would you do if you were omnipotent? And he goes, I'd kill myself. And they're like, why? And he just went, well, if little Joey's not working anymore, I don't want to have a reason to live. And I just cracked up. And like, Joey, that's impotent. He goes, sure you are, Ross. Sure you are. I just cracked. I just remembered that line. And that's
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Burhan's the biggest Friends show lover in the world.
I am. I love Friends. I have the entire box set. I have the Friends quiz book. And it's actually one of the many things I have in common with Misty Outbreak, who's going to be on an episode of IGG this week.
What night are you doing it this week?
We're doing Saturday for I Got Gameplay with a special guest. He's going to be this Saturday. A gentleman who likes to write and draw comics, who's also going to be involved in Silent Hill at some point in capacity.
Is it Tom McFarlane?
I'm not going to tell you who he is. He's going to be our special guest. And he actually done a zombie comic book. And Packy said, Patimus.
Excuse me, Mr. Burhan.
I didn't say that. Nobody heard me. Patimus said, fuck, it's cold out. And all the love for practical effects. I agree with you on that one.
Quickly, just to say one more thing, even though I'm the only person in the world who likes to think prequel. And we mentioned it last week, but it really, really fucking grinds my roids, which is they did all the effects in that movie, or the majority of them, is practical effects, and then CG'd over them.
Yeah, I don't get
And then
that.
we didn't get a special fucking edition of it when it came out on DVD with like a B-side where we could fucking watch it with practical effects, because I'm pretty sure they did it with practical effects. It wouldn't have got half the hate.
Oh god, I just wondered if people think I'm an uber racist now. I apologise.
I should have skated over that and not highlighted a bit, shouldn't I?
Ladies and gentlemen, the views of Michael Burhan do not reflect the views of Dave Wade and the Retro Island Network. The fact that Michael Burhan is a closet racist. Well, I was married to an Indian girl, so I could, you know, that means I can be uber racist.
Yeah. You're allowed to be because you're Malatta.
Yeah, it's my creed. I can be uber racist if that works. It's like,
you dig up and dig up, not down.
Yeah, I'm kind of lying in my grave now. But yeah, it's with a lot of these reboots. I don't think they understand what made these movies great. And like Peter Weller commented on the RoboCop movie, and they said to him, "Did you like it?" And he just went, "No." And they were like, "Why is that?" You know. Oh, by the way, he was a great villain in the Star Trek Into Darkness movie.
Yes,
you know?
Agreed.
You know?
Agreed, my racist friend.
Yes.
Sorry.
Your anti-Asian friend. Retro Gamers 1979 says morning. Hello, Retro Gamers 1979. Morning to you,
hello
person. But I agree. It annoys me a lot when you see these reboots that lose substance. And you know, Pete Weller was actually saying about the fact that RoboCop was anti-political. It was an anti-establishment movie, and it was highlighting times where corporate
and they openly admitted, because obviously Verhoeven, but he openly admitted that he pinched a lot of the ideas from Judge Dredd.
Yeah,
it was more of a not to. I mean, I love the new Judge Dredd movie. I think that's a criminally underrated movie. But the original RoboCop is a closer movie to Judge Dredd than the '95 Stallone Judge Dredd is.
Oh God.
That's what the new one got right. Is he never took his helmet off,
And also, he never spoke like he was retarded.
and he didn't wear skin tight lycra and look like a
And
taunt.
Versace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, although it's if you've got the American version, because I'm a Judge Dredd fan, so I do actually have the Region One version. If you've got the North American version, you get the complete movie, and they actually said in this country it was not cut for any reason other than when all the clones half-formed clones start coming alive, and you see them pump the shotgun, and then you don't know what happened. On the Region One version, you get to see them kill them all, but what happened with the UK version, because loads of people wrote in, including me, wrote into 2008 at the time and said, what the fuck? And they said, hang on a minute, this has nothing to do with us. What actually happened was, we don't know, but when the original cut was sent from the States to the UK, somehow across the Atlantic, that bit fell off. That was their excuse. And that's why you got that really awkward cut where you see all the clones come up and then it just suddenly stops and it's just like, yeah, it's all done, dusted, now let's have a fight, because they're all gone.
But it made no sense as well. That was the problem. It was like that Stallone. I remember Stallone when he commented it. He goes, "Some like Hamlet. I was like Hamlet on eggs. This was Hamlet on eggs." No, it wasn't Stallone. It was Judge Dredd, not Hamlet.
Rob Schneider was good in it though.
Yeah, when Rob Schneider's the best thing in your movie, you know there's a problem.
He's basically and yeah, but he was basically Judge Dredd's soul in that movie.
Yeah, he was the sidekick. He was the witty sidekick. He was funny, I have to agree, and he kept mocking Stallone, which I think was amazing, because he should.
I am the law.
I just like cracked up with laughter.
What he goes, was it? He says, and this is good because this is a reference to the comic when he goes like, you just sabotaged or vandalized a service droid. That's 5 years in prison. And he goes, well, what was I supposed to do? Jump out the window? And he was like, it would be legal. But it's 5 stories down.
Yeah. And it does.
Thing is, though, there's some things they did get right about that movie. The depiction of Mega City was fantastic.
Yeah.
And Mean Machine Angel, and it was just Mean Machine was just a comic book fan's wet dream of perfect visualization of the character in movie
It
land.
was hilarious, Patimus. It was so hilarious. It was as hilarious as 50 Shades of Grey was. Which we don't need to talk about that movie. Because that movie...
50 Shades of I Am the Law.
50
Oh, you should
Shades...
have said this. Now I'm going to give myself Tourette's, and what I'm going to do tomorrow when I get up is just walk around silly. Excuse me, is your name Dave? I am the Law.
You should see him now. He's like got lipo injections in his lips and stuff, and he's on growth hormone.
He's turning into Burt Reynolds.
Yeah. Stallone, we can't hear you. You can't.
What's the bit they do in Family Guy? Which is, you can't win. You got to fight him in space on the moon. And there's no air for him. There's no air for me.
Oh God. You know what? I always said that Demolition Man was a better Dredd movie.
Demolition Man is an absolute bloody modern gem.
Yeah, it's a better Dredd movie than Stallone's Judge Dredd.
See, that was his second coming rebirth before he needed a third coming rebirth. Where
That was
he
done
basically,
before Dredd as well, wasn't it? Before
yeah,
Judge Dredd.
because remember that he was out of favour mainly because he killed his career with "Stop or My Mum Will Shoot."
Oh, I love that movie.
Oh God, and I don't dislike it. And that god awful gangster comedy movie, Oscar.
Yeah, that one was terrible because he couldn't act in that.
Destroyed his career,
Like,
and then
you
he came back with Cliffhanger. Didn't he? Yeah, it was two movies in the same year, was it? That basically restored his career before he pissed it away again. Well, it was Cliffhanger and Demolition Man. They were
when
fucking
he kept doing straight to DVD movies after that. He did the god awful
Daylight.
Get Carter. Oh.
Oh, don't you dare mention that movie again.
That movie gave me a hernia.
First of all, right, you don't remake Michael Caine movies. I mean, what are they going to do? Is his next thing to destroy something else that we hold dear? He's going to make
Michael Caine just sat there and went, "I did it for the money." I was like, "No shitting, fucking Michael Caine. I knew you did it for the fucking money." And Stallone in it, you've got what's that fucking Mickey Rourke was in it. He played a martial arts dude. and it was all
Even
about
though he has no martial art ability whatsoever.
yeah, and it was just like literally Stallone was in it. It was like, I'm gonna kill every one of you. And it's like, okay, I get
Yeah.
it. So Stallone, please act with it and get Caught as a movie where the whole thing about it is it's a revenge movie. It's about like this guy taking revenge for his brother's death and also the fact that his like was it his daughter I believe, was it his niece that was doing the porno movies.
I can't remember now.
She
It's
was
been
doing
ages.
snuff and films or stuff like that, and then he was taking revenge. Um, and he went and he just like fucking hunted down the entire fucking like mafia family. And
I
eventually
mean,
he
it's
gets
funny, we complain about remakes these days,
yeah.
but if you look at that, like, who on earth greenlit that at Hollywood? Said, we're going to
That
remake
was
this
New Line,
classic.
I
Like,
believe, because New Line released the original version, and then they greenlit that one. And this was at a time when Michael Caine had a string of reboots. Like they did that, and then they did Alfie.
oh, that's got fucking
Which,
Jude Law in.
yeah,
Oh,
that was basically Jude Law being a prick.
Alfie is a fucking amazing. If you've not seen the original Michael Caine Alfie, I hate having to say it like that, the original Michael Caine Alfie, do yourself a favour, it's a fucking amazing movie.
Yeah, and
Michael Caine in the 60s was just pure fried gold.
yeah, and the thing is, they took those two movies, they remade them, and Caine had like a role in both movies as different characters, and it was just terrible.
True story, by
Although
the way.
as
I own
ridiculous as
Zulu
he
on
is, I
Blu-ray.
still love Demolition Man. No, but I love Demolition Man too, Patimus. I think it was a far better movie than Judge Dredd or like fucking Get Carter combined. Yeah, go on, Dave.
Oh, I was just going to say, true story. I actually own, because people say, like, I mean, I like to consider myself not a movie thespian, but
Mm.
I love the movie Zulu. I think it's brilliant, and I
I
own it
do
on
too.
Blu-ray.
I'm waiting
And
for the
it's one of those.
Stallone or Schwarzenegger remake of that, you know,
Oh,
because
God, yeah.
it'll be
Don't you throw those spears at me.
yeah, don't you do it. But it's one of those where I think with Michael Caine, he's done so many great movies, and when they did the re-releases, the reboots, he tarnished the name of those. I can't watch the original Get Carter because of this, because of that movie. Because I watched the reboot, and I was like, let's watch it, see what it's like. I watched it, and I regret it.
I know what you mean, actually, which is sometimes a reboot or remake is so bad it ruins the original movie that you loved.
Yeah,
And
we had a conversation actually about the Ghostbusters reboot, the upcoming Ghostbusters reboot that's coming out. And I had a bit of a tirade on this. Me and Dave talked about this on the Untitled Movie Show, and we think this movie is going to damage the Ghostbusters brand, and it's not because it's all women.
And that's the thing that's getting thrown around about it. Is anyone dares to criticise this, as we talked about last night? You're
It
just
was
being
his voice.
chauvinistic,
Thank
and
you.
it's like I'm not being chauvinistic. It's
Mm.
some things should not be taken out of their fan base context. If
Yeah,
that makes
and
sense.
the thing is, and people are like, well, it's really old now. Like, if you think about it, when was Extreme Ghostbusters released? You know, and that was because that was like the most recent.
90, the early, no, the mid 90s, I believe.
Yeah, I'm just having a look. I think it was 99.
I want to say 97.
Let's have a look. Because I remember that series was I thought was great. You know.
I liked it. I remember thinking when I heard about it, reading or seeing the adverts in the Marvel comics I read at the time for it, and thinking, oh, I want to say 95 actually. I think, oh, this is going to be shit. And I watched it, and it showed a love and reverence for the subject matter.
Yeah, it brought back the like video like Egon was in it, and he was siring a new team of Ghostbusters, and I liked it. Yeah, it was 97.
Hey, look at
Uh,
me. Hey.
College level graduate Ghostbusters, led by the veteran Ghostbuster Egon Spengler. The show was called Ghostbusters Dark in some places, but it was Extreme Ghostbusters. Most of us, including myself and Dave. It was original run from the 1st of September to the 4th of December 97. It lasted, I believe, one season, 40 episodes, and it was a really good
There is
premise.
a DVD of it, by the way, people. You can buy it, believe it or not. Region 1, anyway.
Michael Caine in his 60s was gold and sexy, says Patmos. But yeah, the Extreme Ghostbusters, it was...
Ask her, I don't know, I say this sounds like one of those arguments with dysfunctional family members. Ask her if she likes Zulu.
Do you like Zulu, Patmos? I'm waiting for her to say something. But the plot...
That
of
was
this
so
one-
really creepy, by the way. You went, do you like Zulu, Padamus?
Set years after the end of the real Ghostbusters, the lack of supernatural activity put the Ghostbusters out of business. Each member has gone their separate ways, except for Dr. Egon Spengler, who still lives in the firehouse to monitor the contaminant unit.
But they reference, that's the great thing though, they actually reference in episodes of it the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And that's why it worked.
Yeah. And again, this is what this movie needs. It needs reference to the original. She goes, I never watched the reboot. Get Carter, never will, because I can't lose that film from my heart.
Don't, Patty, don't.
Yeah, don't. That film...
We've lost it now, we can't go back.
Imagine having, like, the best sex of your life, and then meeting that same person, like, years later, and they're impotent.
That was a really bad analogy, Burhan. Sorry.
No, but it's true. It's like, and the guy can't get it up. He's just terrible. It will tarnish your memory of the amazing sexcapades.
Let me rephrase that. Imagine having the best sex in your life ever. Then years later, you go back and you find out that they were a rapist.
No, that's still maybe a child molester. That would work.
Oh, that's still again. Dig up, not down.
Going dark. I saw Zulu really awkward date with a guy who used to dress like a pirate.
Was he dressed like a pirate on the date?
Was he Johnny Depp?
Yeah. Oh my God, you dated Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah,
tell him I love him for what he did for Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital.
This is a tale of Captain Jack Sparrow, pirate so brave on the seven seas. But yeah, this one they reference basically the original Ghostbusters series. It was a great series itself. I didn't think it did well because it was dark. You know, it's
it did have a line of toys though. I remember from Forbidden Planet.
Ivan Reitman, Dan Aykroyd, and Harold Ramis were associated with this project. They created it.
Well, there you go. There's testament right there on paper. There was thought and genuine care for the franchise in it.
And that's the thing. And it also had like a first disabled Ghostbusters. One of them was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And it was very eclectic in terms of the character because you had a female Ghostbuster who was like this kind of...
And this is the point we're trying to make, though, even though we talked about it last night. This is what a strong subject or point of contention it is with me and Burhan. And I imagine quite a lot of people, which is we're not opposed to changing or rebooting, but you have to keep it relevant to the original thing. Otherwise, the route they're going, it's basically, you're only calling it Ghostbusters because you know it's going to sell you tickets. But other than that, you got fuck all to do with it.
Stu, that's what the show's about. It's Burhan and the boy. We're just random. It's just random chats between me and Dave, basically. This is a...
What's that?
Retro Games 1979. Mr. Stuart Brand was asking us what the show's about. And I was explaining to him.
Nothing. It's a show about nothing.
Yeah.
We would say that.
Seinfeld of podcasts, basically.
It's a really big shoe. It should be called It's a Really Big Shoe, but Mr. Burhan misheard me when he used that as a tagline and he called it a really big show and now it's stuck.
Yes. So from left to right, you had Garrett Miller, Kyle Griffith, Eduardo Rivera, and Roland Jackson. These were the members of the Ghostbusters. They were a very dysfunctional team because each person came from a different walk of life. One of them was a genius. The other was a goth chick. The other was like a popular jock. And then the other guy was just this...
But it was brilliant because they chose... like I said, I want the hate, I liked it, but they deliberately chose... And I know it's a cliche of 90s cartoons, but it was... The whole point of it was you want that antagonistic element, which is they're all so far removed from each other's pockets of life. But... And it's a cliche, I know, of, like I said, 90s, but when the chips were down and the shit hit the fan and it mattered, all of that was irrelevant, and they came together.
Yeah. And that was
they were the ultimate dysfunctional family, basically.
Yeah, they came together and they made their own kind of legacy. And the great thing in the last episode, they actually reunite with the old Ghostbusters.
Yes.
And Egon and them go out to kind of bust ghosts, and it's kind of like it turns into a bit of a pissing contest. And it's a really, really good show. So if you want to watch it, go on YouTube, check on the internet, stream it, to rent it because it's not available on DVD.
Well, it is, but not in UK. Yeah. Although I will say this, if you've got any sense of being a ninja, like myself and Mr. Burhan, although he just really established he's a pirate and I'm a ninja, go and buy the original, because you can buy it in Asda for $5, the original Real Ghostbusters seasons, because that's still one of the finest cartoons ever.
Yeah, and it's...
And boring random fact, you know why it's called the Real Ghostbusters, don't you?
Yeah, because they
There's a 1970s Hanna-Barbera cartoon called Ghostbusters.
Let's go, Ghostbusters. Let's go. Let's go. Go.
And obviously the bloke who does Peter Venkman is the bloke, he's sadly passed away, is the bloke who voiced Garfield in the cartoons, and the irony there is Peter Venkman, Bill Murray voiced Garfield in the live action movies.
And he says it was one of the worst choices he's ever made, apparently. He goes,
which is not fair, because even though I hate the movies, if you watch them like I do, which is you just set it on your DVD player, because my DVD player's got smart memory, so you can set bookmarks and then string them together. I don't know why I'm pressing my hand pretending I've got an invisible remote. So whenever I watch Garfield, because I own it, mainly thanks to cash converters. I own lots of crap movies thanks to cash converters, because, you know, it's cheaper than renting, let's be honest. If you just watch the Bill Murray bits in that movie and ignore the rest, and it only comes to, I think, 12 and a half minutes, brilliant. That's what the director's cut Garfield should be, just 12 and a half minutes of Bill Murray as a fucking cat.
Yeah, it's one of those where it would have been a good movie if they focused on the fact between, they kind of added too much story. There was too much padding. You know, just to make it a proper movie. And he goes,
but he was brilliant. His Garfield bits are absolutely superb.
Yeah, he goes, it's his kids' movie. He did it because he wanted to do a kids' movie. But he also did it because they gave him a truck full of money. But it's...
And as we mentioned last night, or I mentioned, the greatest Bill Murray movie is still Rushmore, which was written by Ian Wilson, wasn't it?
I think it's Lost in Translation. I love that movie. One of my favourites.
Rushmore.
I enjoy it. I think it's a really good...
Paddy, what's your favourite Bill Murray movie?
But saying that, I did a retrospective on the guy, and I love most of his movies.
Well, if you want to do anything else with Bill Murray, I'll happily come by.
I might do a secondary fortnight to relaunch Movie File, because I know it's been a while since I've done a Movie File retrospective. So I might do that, bring that about, and then end up doing my Amazing Spider-Man 2 review. I might lodge number 1 and 2 in the same.
You're welcome to have me on that, but the problem is we're at very different ends on Spider-Man 2, which is you hate it, and I actually kind of really like it. But that's just because it reminds me of Todd McFarlane and Eric Larson's Spider-Man.
I don't like.
Come on, the bit when he shoots Electro with the hose pipe, and then he swings it around, and he's got the fireman's hat on.
Fine. He's just too rushed. The story's rushed. You know,
how Electro got his superpowers is absolutely bollocks.
Yeah, Tony Stark uses a fucking arc reactor. Osborn uses eels to power New York. Fucking eels. I remember Spoonie did a huge rant about it, and people were just like, "It's not as bad as you said it is, Spoonie." But I agree with him, whole 110%. I think the movie was just terrible.
I like it. I like it a lot.
And the thing is that the whole Andrew Garfield and fucking like the Gwen Stacy, Peter Parker like love bits.
Too early. I mean, I know it's true to the comic book, which I do commend them on actually doing a character's death properly.
They didn't do it properly.
Too early in the franchise.
She was supposed to be done at the bridge. First,
yeah, but they're not going to be able to do that.
Secondly, they could do it. Secondly, it should have been done by Norman Osborn, not Harry Osborn. And by the way, the guy who played Harry, Dan DeHaan, whatever the fuck his name is, he looked like he was on crack.
He did. You could see him grinding his teeth, clearly.
Yeah, and it was like, son, I'm suffering from a rare disease that I'm not going to tell you about, and you're going to basically end up dying worse than I am within, even though mine lasted so many years, yours is going to last 5 minutes. And the whole thing of him going, Pete, why can you get Spider-Man to like give me some of his blood? Okay, and then Spider-Man's like, no.
No, you're just my best friend. Why would I do that?
Exactly, you're my best friend. It's like if I went to you, Dave, I need a kidney transplant, you'd be like, yes, man, fuck that. I'll give you
I wouldn't.
But you know what I mean. It's
joking. I'm joking.
Yeah, it's like friends.
You can have the one that doesn't work properly.
There you go. At least you're giving me a second-hand one. But you know, at the end of the day, you would do that for me. And Harry's supposed to be his best friend. He's like, no. I'm not giving you blood.
I will say this: it did lack the emotional content of the first movie, because the first movie was brilliant, and the whole, you know, with the fact that Flash, you know, was genuinely upset and sad for him when his dad died. His Uncle Ben died.
I did like that.
And Spider-Man went batshit crazy, and he was just trying to say, you know, all right, I've been a complete arsehole to you, you know, but I'm sorry about that. That was one of the most human elements in it. Although I did like the bit when he showed them up.
Martin Sheen as Uncle Ben was a fucking twat.
Yeah, you know the fact when he goes like, "Did you do this to these boys?" And I wanted to jump in the screen. I love the original Amazing Spider-Man, but I wanted to jump into the screen and just go, "Jesus Christ! They've tormented and picked on this poor bastard for fucking years, and
Yeah,
now he gets superpowers, and all he did was show him up at a game of basketball, and you're telling him he's the asshole?
yeah.
Sort your shit out."
I just sat there. I was like, really? Is that the way that you're going to do things? Is this? And then when he died, I was just like, yay! And then the whole thing
Yeah.
about not saying great power comes great responsibility.
Dennis Leary was brilliant in this movie.
Yeah, and again, he should have survived to the second movie. He shouldn't have died. That you
We
should
did,
have had.
kind of, in one flashback scene at the start.
Yeah, I'm looking at you. That's just like, come on.
That's one thing I don't, even though I stand up for the second movie, but I can see all its faults. One thing I didn't like about the second movie was at the end of the first movie, he honoured Dennis Leary and said, right, I'm going to, she's not going to understand why. I'm going to walk away from your daughter because you asked me to. Then in the second movie, it's just like, yeah, that's gone. No, it's all right.
At least with the Sam Raimi movies, it was done right. He walked the fuck away from her, and then, they got back together at the end of the other movie. Do you know what I mean? This one, it was like, oh, we're back together again. Oh, I gotta leave you. No, don't do that. Come and fuck me in the elevator. It was just, it really had no fucking sense. It made no sense.
The game on the Wii U, both games on the Wii U are brilliant, by the way.
Yeah, but it just clusterfucked. I just didn't like the fact that I felt the movie could have done a lot more with the character. They had no idea what they were doing. They were rushing things. It was like, basically, they just wanted to fuck the movie up and try and create something that they really couldn't handle.
There you go, question, Mr. Burhan. Top 3 superhero movies.
Top 3, number 1. It's no order. No direct order. Batman.
Which one? Burton's?
Burton's.
Good man.
The second one for me would be Batman Dark Knight Rises. Because I love that one. I felt that Heath Ledger's Joker was sublime. Even though I love Jack Nicholson's Joker, I think Ledger did something. Was more true to the comic books.
He's more psychopathic. I love Nicholson. He is still my favourite Joker, but Nicholson Joker wasn't really the Joker. It was Nicholson.
Yeah. No, but he did it a real. He had his take on it, and I think Ledger had a different take. And I always love it when guys play characters.
Scars.
Yeah,
There you go, Burton. You need to learn your American accent before you go to the States. Just do Joker impressions, yeah.
And the thing is as well,
scars.
the leader of the families who the Joker approaches in it was who? Michael J. White.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit! Yeah, sorry, Penny. Oh, crossing the streams moment.
Yeah. Number 3, which would have been Avengers, but I agree with Patmos on it. Days of Future Past.
See, my number 1 is tied with yours, which is I think what? Tim Burton's Batman is still.
I'll tie 3 as Avengers and Days of Future Past because I did like the Avengers movie. But yeah, go on. Your number 1.
Number 1, Batman, of course. Yeah. Tim Burton's Batman is still my favourite Batman. Michael Keaton, still the best Batman, and Michael Keaton, which people overlook the fact of why I like it, is still the best Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, and he's amazing in Birdman.
Number 2 would be so many choices. I should have put this 5, shouldn't I? Never mind. Number 2 would be actually controversial. Captain America: Winter Soldier.
I liked that movie. I did like it. Very espionage-y. If I did a top 10, I think that would be in it.
And number 3 would be, again, agree with you, which is, I think it's by hands down set the bar for superhero movies, which is Days of Future Past. I must have seen that movie 18 times now, and I never grow bored of watching it. It's so fucking good.
I remember when I did my rounds, I did the review on the movie, and then I'll talk to everybody. Everyone was like, "You're overhyping it. You're overhyping it." And
I remember your review. I remember it, and you were talking about how dark it was and the fact that they got away with it being that dark because they didn't actually show real blood.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, it can't be that bad. And then, yeah, sorry people, spoilers, but you haven't seen this, sort your fucking life out.
Yeah.
When the scene in the future at the end, I wish there was more future stuff in it.
Yeah.
The scene in the future at the end when all the X-Men get beaten and destroyed, and they pull Colossus apart. That's horrific.
Yeah, I watched it and I cringed. I remember watching it with my brothers, and I was so like, I literally nearly had tears in my eyes watching this
And
movie.
it has one of the greatest lines ever, which is when Magneto says to Xavier after he's been hit with the shrapnel, which is all those years fighting each other, Charles. And you're like, yes, this is cinematic gold right here.
Yeah, I love the fact that they just felt really like sorry for
If I can
themselves.
be that twat who pokes holes and stuff, though, did they not work out based on the fact that at the start that they could have killed the Sentinels in the future if Blink just teleported them in half?
I love the fact that, with Blink, I loved her character. I thought her character was really good. I think they could have given more screen time to the their version of Quicksilver. I felt he was really good in it as well.
Here's the defining scene of cinematography in that movie. When they plays the
Patton
music, he
said,
puts his
I
head
cried
on.
when he got pulled apart. I did too. I was watching it and my heart was fucking wrenching watching that shit. You know, and I agree with you, Dave. Cinematography was amazing in that, especially with him. It was, and the homages they paid. There was stuff that didn't make sense, like the road thing when they cut all her parts out.
Yeah.
There were bits where there was continuity errors, like with Mystique, because it basically they alienated everything that was said about her in the past movies. But it was still, to its core, an amazing X-Men movie. It was a comic book movie done right, and Bryan Singer put a lot of care and time into it.
And he also, and even though he went about fixing the continuity errors and all the shit that was introduced in that god awful X-Men 3 movie, he still referenced it and made it canon, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
When Xavier reads Logan's mind, and you see him killing Jean basically, and I like that. I thought, you know what? I know you're trying to fix all the continuity errors because it's your puppy again, and you're really upset that you bailed for Superman and that was shit. But yeah, so fair play. He was the bigger man. He was like, no, I'm gonna make this my franchise again, but I'm still not gonna completely. Was it Remy Harlan
Yeah.
who did the third one? But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. That was like him being an adult in Hollywood, which you don't get very often
It
these
wasn't
days.
really hard to do the third one. The third one was done by Brett Ratner.
That's it. Yeah, sorry, the guy who did
Rush Hour.
Rush Hour.
Yeah, you could tell that he rushed that movie. No,
Never
laughs.
stand in front of a black man at the buffet.
I need to get some canned laughs.
Mm.
But it was basically like I think he done an amazing job with that. And when as far as superhero movies go, I think Avengers was great. That set the bar. I think
Avengers was perfect, which is Joss Whedon does well. Was he juggled the cast brilliantly? Which is you had all these big, pioneering characters, but they all got equal, not just equal screen time, but they were all established and felt in, and not just because of their previous movies. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was,
no, I agree.
It was a perfect team movie.
he sorted through the clusterfuck and basically made an amazing, honest-to-God movie. And that's the thing, and I think it worked really well. I think as an ensemble cast, it was a great movie. I do believe, though, it set the bar, and X-Men Days of Future Past kind of passed that bar.
Oh yeah, I know I keep saying it, but it did. It absolutely blew it out of the
Now I'm
water.
waiting for Age of Ultron to kind of pass that bar even more.
But that's not Whedon, is it? Is that what you said last night? That's not Whedon.
No, that is Whedon. That's his last.
Oh, it is Whedon. Oh,
That's his last film with Marvel, I think, which is a shame because Infinity War is the next one, and apparently that's.
Is there a reason he's walking away?
Yeah, he's walking away.
No, but is there a reason? Is there like bad blood?
Not really. I think he's just done with it. He may stay on the Marvel Universe and do a different movie. He might even do the next Guardians movie. Who knows?
I want another sing-along Captain Hammer video. Whedon, get on that.
But yeah, that's. I think now it's time for us to wrap up the show. I think now because we're on that very happy note. Tell us what your favourite superhero film is, guys. We want to know. Definitely on that one. Let us know if you want to give us any topics for Burhan the Boy for next week.
Paddy says, by the way, number 1, Days of Future Past.
Yep.
Oh, we didn't think about this. Number 2, Hellboy.
Yep.
Good. Number 3, Burton's Batman.
So I think we're all three of us are kind of on the same page when it comes to 1 and 3. Hellboy, I liked Hellboy too. I did like Hellboy. I thought that was a really good movie. I think they could have made a lot more movies of it. It was just one of those where I think after 2 they kind of just went meh, leave it at that. I'm not upset about that, but I'm not. I think they could have done a lot more with it.
It definitely has, there's still legs in that franchise.
Definitely. They killed him off recently.
Is everyone fucking dying?
They killed him off and ended his comics. And sent him straight to hell, which was
ironic.
Very ironic. But I'm
because he's not actually a demon.
Yeah, well, he is. He came from hell. But it was one of those things where I like the idea, I like the premise. I thought Hellboy would work, and the big screen action it did, and Rob Palmer did an amazing job with that.
And it had really good special effects as well. It had him in brilliant practical effects.
He was really good. I like the abs, the washboard
and
abs.
The big hand. They really pulled off the big hand.
Yeah. Apparently, it took ages to put on him as well. He was like up at 5 a.m. doing that. I want to give a big shout out to all you lovely people out there who listen to the show. Thank you very much. We will be returning to the Virtual Random Network soon, once we sort of be able to go out of Warner Music.
Cough, dickheads. So, where'd that come from?
And I want to say to those out there, tell us your stories. If you listen to any of the topics of tonight's show, tell us your stories. Talk about things with us. And we'll
give us
questions. Yeah, give us questions. And we'll see you again next Thursday for another episode. You can catch us tomorrow. We're going to be on Slamcast tomorrow. We do like a Burhan and a Boy Trifecta, I think. We do like from Wednesday to Friday. Wednesday to Saturday. If you include
when I got gameplays on Saturday, oh my god, we do 4 casts in a row.
We do. So catch us then, guys. Have a great one. We'll see you soon. This is Michael Burhan for Dave Wade, saying we are out you 5,000, and for all that good stuff and stuff. Have sweet